Just a quick one. I'm putting the wheels back on my lorry today. It's just so it's stable and I can start stripping it down. So the frame will be getting cut at some point, but I want to cage off the rear brakes and just move it back a little once it's cut. So that'll allow me to do the stretch. I've got a longer video uploading, which is me just stripping down the frame and a few other little bits and bobs. But what I'm going to do with this one, I'll show you how these Trilex wheels go together. I have done a short on it, but I'll do a slightly longer one. So you see 3 pieces that interlock on these cams. This is the special tool made in Germany out of some very strong alloy, because I had that I'd say might be a 4.5 foot pipe on it, and this didn't flex. The pipe was flexing. I've got the tyre change down to 70 seconds now. I reckon I can do sub 60 with a little bit of extra practice, and if all the pieces just sort of dropped in. But essentially, you've got this main piece, or this is the masterpiece. So slot that in over the valve stem, then you take this tool, slot that in over the valve stem, slot this second piece in, lock it in as best you can with this one, and then you're going to take the third piece and drop it in, get that and that lined up, and this piece here will sort of overlap the master, or the valve piece. So at that point you take your tool, goes in this way around, which is the so this, obviously this side of the tyre wheel combo is on the floor, then you've got that in there which allows you to get a bar on, and that piece obviously overlapped on there, and you just wrench on it with the pipe, and it will slowly move and then suddenly just pop. Done. Then you wiggle that out. If it's not fully seated, you take this end, pop it in there, give it a little tweak. And you hear it go pop. That's it. Literally that simple. So once that's done, you can just go around and tap the sections with a hammer to sort of true them up a little. But as you tighten it on and draw it onto the hub against the spacer ring, which is over there, it's like a regular Dayton, but it'll compress these against each other and line everything up properly. So I have inflated these to about 60 psi, which is half of what they require. So these will go up to 125. So where are we at? There we go. So each one's good for 4,500 kilos as a dual. and 125 psi cold. So I had to go and get the jack. The weight of the chassis and everything in the axles had sort of just compressed the wooden blocks that it's sitting on, and it was a bit too close to the ground to get the wheels off. So it's a 7.5 ton jack. The inner wheel's on, and I've just dropped it down a little bit with the jack and slid the spacer ring on. So now we're ready for the outer. So I've sped this up, but really quickly, basically going to roll the wheel close, sort of get the valve stem where I want it, which is close to the 1 o'clock position, I think, here, or might be in the 2 o'clock position, and then taking two pry bars, long pry bars, I'm just going to try and walk it onto the hub. It just means you're not lifting it, because each of those wheel assemblies, wheel and tyre assemblies, are super heavy. And by heavy, I mean each one's about 150 kilos, or in Freedom Eagles, I think that's about 320 pounds. So feel free to correct me on that, but yeah, they are heavy. Skipped forward a couple of minutes. It was just me cleaning the wedges, as I said. So the last one's on, just getting the nut on, and then I can start the tightening process. So you're going to go around it like it's a lathe chuck, basically, and you're going to look to sort of get an even amount of thread showing out of each one, which means that you end up true, or as true as can be, whilst doing it this way. So that's it for this video, and here's a slightly better look at the tool just before I finish.